There are some true financial statements that sound way too complicated for people who haven't had the chance to get a real financial education, and that is exactly why I am making this video today. I want to clear up one specific phrase that trips up almost everyone when they first hear it. The idea that your mind is your greatest asset. We are going to break this down into practical, everyday terms that even a primary school student can understand, so stick close and please make sure you are watching this in a quiet place. If you happen to stumble across this video while you are in a noisy spot or caught up in a busy schedule, go ahead and download it right now so you can take the time to watch it all the way through later. A few years ago, I made a ton of mistakes myself by earning a lot of money only to watch it constantly disappear, and I had absolutely no clue what I was doing wrong until I finally realized that standard everyday school doesn't actually teach us how to build wealth. I learned that if you want to get ahead, you have to actively seek out a financial education, and one of the very first sentences I heard back then that made me question everything was the fact that my mind was supposed to be my #1 asset. I was completely confused because I had just learned the textbook definition of an asset versus a liability, which is simply that an asset is anything that puts money into your pocket even when you aren't working, while a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. I kept asking myself how a brain sitting inside my head could possibly count as a physical asset putting cash in my wallet, and I know for a fact that I am not the only person who has struggled to wrap their head around this truth. There are so many beginners out there facing this exact same hurdle, which is why this video is going to help a lot of people start off on the right foot. Please don't just watch this alone. Make sure to share it with someone who needs to hear it, and hit that subscribe button as we dive deep into breaking down what this statement really means for your future. All right, let's talk about this the way I would talk to a client sitting right across from me at a kitchen table. No Wall Street jargon, no robotic phrases, and absolutely no motivational fluff, just real human talk. When professionals say your mind is your greatest asset, what they are actually telling you is that the exact way you think about a dollar determines what you do with that dollar, and whatever you choose to do with your money is what ultimately decides whether you stay broke, survive paycheck to paycheck, or build true wealth. To look at this in the simplest way possible, imagine you hand two different people a stack of $10,000 cash. The first person has never been taught how money actually works, so the only thing they know how to do with a dollar is trade it for a physical item. They immediately go out and buy a nicer car, upgrade to the newest phone, take a flashy vacation, and maybe pay off a couple of temporary bills, meaning that within a single year, every penny of that $10,000 is completely gone. They felt great and looked rich for a little while, but they are right back at square one with nothing to show for it. Now, the second person understands basic money principles, so they don't look at that $10,000 as spending money at all. They see it as a powerful tool. They use it to start a small side business, invest it in something that grows over time, or use it to learn a high-paying skill that permanently boosts their income. A few years down the road, that exact same $10,000 has multiplied into $20,000, $50,000, or even more. It was the exact same amount of money to start with, but different thinking produced a completely different life, and that is the purely practical reality of why your mind comes first. Your brain is the ultimate decision maker that constantly asks, do I spend this or do I invest this? Do I buy something that just looks rich, or do I build something that actually makes me rich? And do I sit around complaining about my current income, or do I use my head to increase my skills? If you don't take the time to understand how money moves, you will almost always trade long-term financial freedom for short-term comfort, not because you aren't smart, but simply because nobody ever sat down and taught you the rules of the game. When you strip away all the confusion, there are really only a few basic things that build true wealth in America, and it boils down to owning assets that grow in value over time like businesses. Real estate, or stocks, continually increasing your own ability to earn more money through skills and education, and controlling your lifestyle so you actually keep what you bring in. That is the entire game in a nutshell. But if your mindset is frozen in a loop of only earning to spend, you are going to stay stuck on a financial treadmill where you make money, spend money, make money, and spend money until you realize that cycle will never build a secure future. The real shift happens the moment your thinking changes to focus on how you can own things that pay you, how you can make your money work hard instead of you doing all the heavy lifting yourself, and how you can increase your overall value in the marketplace. Think of money like water and your mind as the container holding it. If your container is small, cracked, or poorly built because you don't understand how taxes, debt, investing, and delayed gratification work, the money is going to leak right out of your life no matter how much of it you pour in. This is exactly why we see folks making $150,000 a year still living paycheck to paycheck, because it isn't an income problem at all. It is a thinking problem. I know this is incredibly hard to accept when you are stressed out about bills because your brain tells you that you just need more cash right now to fix everything. But working with high earners has taught me that making more money without changing your thinking just increases the size of your mistakes. If you overspend when you make $40,000 a year, you will absolutely overspend when you make $120,000, and wealth will always be built from your daily habits, not the size of your paycheck. Your mind becomes your greatest asset the moment you practice delayed gratification. Stop trying to look wealthy to impress others and focus on planting your seeds so they can grow into a massive garden instead of eating them all today. Spend everything you have and you are left with nothing. But train your mind to plant those financial seeds wisely, and they will grow to take care of you for the rest of your life. If this video truly helped you understand why your brain is your greatest asset, don't keep this knowledge to yourself. Like this video, share it with friends and loved ones, and subscribe for more daily financial lessons designed to help you build lasting wealth and financial freedom.